So actually, I want to talk about that very topic, the fact that technology can make a difference, does make a difference. And so to kind of talk about that topic, I want to start by looking at the context we are all in today, because these are really exciting times. There's huge amounts of challenges, and when I say your world will never be the same again, I have to start by saying it already isn't. So it's not talking about the future. I mean, if you look around you, everywhere, disruption or the rate of change is very high. And so, the first place to look at the rate of change is sort of macroeconomically. If you look around the world, the challenges you all, or the companies you work for, are engaged in are some of the biggest challenges we could ever imagine. Housing, 7 billion people, soon to be 10. Finding clean drinking water for all of them. A little known fact is 80% of the world's population, 80%, does not have access to clean drinking water. There's a child that falls sick every 22 minutes because he or she doesn't have access to clean drinking water. Massive challenge. Urban infrastructure. How do you move all of these people around the world? 7, 10 billion people with, a very large number of cars and urban transportation needs. Cities that are growing exponentially. How do you move people in and out of that? And certainly energy, or a cleaner planet, is the biggest challenge of our generation. I do think that 50 years from now, we all will be judged as to how well we did in making the planet a cleaner, more sustainable place to live, or not. So these are some very large challenges that we all face macroeconomically. And I'm not even talking about the euro and the stock market and all of those kinds of things. These are the big challenges we face. On the other hand, if you look at sort of other changes that are taking place around us, certainly the children being born today are very different than the children that were from previous generations. I'd like to say that in past generations were defined either socially, the hippie generation, or economically in the sense of the Great Depression, or people who were born after the Second World War. But this generation is really defined by technology. I mean, everybody knows these stories, and I'm sure that your nieces, nephews, your children that you talk to every day feel incredibly confident with technology, and they have access to incredible amounts of information like they never did before. And integrating these people into the workforce is a challenge that we all have to be ready for, because their expectations and the way they want to interact with information is very different with the way we grew up interacting with information and with technology. Same time, here I am in Stockholm, and something that has happened in the last 15, 20 years is business really is a global, it has always been global, but it's more global in a sense of competition than ever before. Because your competitor that you might have competed with for the last 20, 30 years is no longer the competition from the Nordics, but is some competitor that is either on continental Europe, in the United States, or in emerging countries. I like to sort of reflect back on products today, and if you think about the way most products are made, especially in the United States, my smartphone is down there, it will say, this is an example where Apple will say, designed in Cupertino, manufactured in China. And I can assure you, the Chinese hate that, because what they want to say is it's designed in Asia, manufactured in the United States. And this battle is very much on. every, what you think as the sort of the competitive dynamics today are not going to be the competitive dynamics tomorrow. They're very much reversing around the world because people everywhere have access to technology, have access to knowledge, and will compete with you on a fair footing rather than the footing of, the West was ahead of the East in some ways. Now, I'm not saying all of this to depress you, but it is the fact, and I think all companies are on this in this environment, and it's also the opportunity for you to separate yourself from your competition and take advantage of all of these big challenges, younger generation, global opportunities. So rather than feeling afraid, you need to sort of embrace these realities and do something about it. And as Rolf said, technology can make a difference.